Hello, my name is Horatio. And no, that's not me, you see. That's my friend Hamlet. Let me tell you about him. He was rather good at chess. That is, whenever he actually got around to making a move. Sometimes he could be rather melancholy. For example, there was that time when his mother remarried. He was talking like this for a month, a little month. Or was it two? Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, ah, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. And then he started hearing these voices. I was getting so worried I almost heard them too.
The serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul! My uncle! I hope you don't mind, but I turned the sound off. He could be quite loud at times, and let's not even get started about his uncle. Other times, he would launch into a long monologue with absolutely no warning. Kind of like this. Now, I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wanned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy mettled rascal, peak, like John a Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain of vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, fie upon it, foe! About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. And he never could decide on anything. For example, one time when he had to find a new place to live, he couldn't decide whether to stay in room number 2B or not 2B. Personally, I thought it was a no-brainer. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, to sleep. Perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled o'er with the pale cast of thoughts, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. But despite all of his outbursts, and believe me, there were many, be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not scape calumny. To a nunnery go, and quickly too, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. But despite these occasional fits of rage and despair, he was always a good and a loyal friend, except to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But his fondest memories were those of Yorick. Poor Yorick.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on me, Ed, once. This same skull, sir, was, sir, Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This? Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. The rest is silence. And I suppose that's it. He was always very mysterious. I wonder what he's up to now.